bitch, he dead. Welcome to Ranger Reviews, a web series where we look at episodes of the TV show Power Rangers and then discuss them. Today we're exploring the second episode of the show Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, as well as the 295th episode overall titled Quasar Quest Part 2. We begin this episode on the moon, where Kai is walking with his fellow soldiers, I guess, getting back into transport. He's pretty downtrodden. On Miranoi, Maya is leading Kendrix and Mike through the jungle. Kendrix and Mike talk about Leo, and Mike doesn't mean to be hard on Leo, but he just cares about him a lot. They're searching some more. On the shuttle back to Terra Venture, all the soldiers are all amped up, but Kai is remembering how Stanton said to never ever leave a team member behind. He says he shouldn't have left them. He then looks down and sees a flyer for the Astro Megaship Museum. At the Astro Megaship Museum, we're actually back on the Megaship. People are touring it, and Alpha is there, working as a tour guide of some sort. There's also an announcer talking about what the Power Rangers did with the Megaship. This is kind of surreal. Kai comes in and he tells everyone to leave, and he tells Alpha that the Megaship is being recommissioned for a top secret assignment. He flashes his badge, and Alpha asks what that means, and Kai says it's going to fly again. Then the mechanic Damon Henderson walks in, saying there's no way in hell this thing's gonna fly again. It's a museum now. Alpha points out he heard nothing about this secret mission, which is kind of the point of it being secret. And Damon demands to see Kai's orders, but Kai admits he has none. It's a long story, but his friends went through a dimensional portal to save another world, blah blah blah, then ended up closing, and the Megaship is the only thing that can help him. Damon doesn't believe this at first, but he kind of doesn't seem to disbelieve it enough. Kai says Damon knows the ship inside and out, and Damon says he'll be lucky if he can even get off the ground. Kai then tells Dekka to close the exit ramps. How does he even know Dekka's name? Then Kai tries to take off, but everything is going terribly. Damon comes back, shaking his head. He takes over, telling Alpha what to do and Dekka. He then tells Kai to leave this to him, and he takes control of everything as it slowly lifts off. Then they hit a freaking building, but somehow that doesn't just destroy the whole building. Damon says she's groggy, but she's waking up. People watch in disbelief as they take off into space. Kai finds the energy portal, and then Kai asks Alpha if the energy flux is enough that they'll actually survive it. And then Damon's pissed, because he's like, we got this far, and now you're worried if we're going to survive? He then takes back over the controls, going through it. On Miranoi, Leo is there, and he finds Stingwingers. He thinks there's just 3 at first, but then there's way more. He gets hit away, and then he lands near Mike, Kendrix, and Maya, who help him get away. Furio is still there, demanding to know how to release the Quasar Sabers, and the guy who just found out on the side of the road to play this wise old man says that he wasn't chosen in, like, the funniest way. Furio then says he'll just kill him then, but then Maya comes flying in. She demands that he stops. Then Leo, Kendrix, and Maya come in, and surprise, here comes Kai and Damon. Everyone smiles like they have any idea who Damon is. All 6 of them start fighting off the Stingwingers, and they're not doing great, but then they've suddenly got some sort of skills. I mean, not many, but some. Also, Maya gets tossed into a hut, and it's really funny. Mike gets hit down onto the ground by the Quasar Sabers, and he turns around, grabbing a saber out of the rock, and it glows red. He hits Furio down, and the old man stares on. Everyone else does too. Everyone except for Leo group together, and they decide to try it out for themselves, and they actually all pull the sabers out in one fell swoop. Maya says, they've been chosen, and then they look at their sabers. Leo looks on. Furio then says, screw you, if I can't have them, no one will. He hits the ground, and everyone starts running. And it just looks like someone just hit find edges in Photoshop for everyone. I guess this is supposed to look like stone, but it doesn't look like stone at all. The 6 are running as fast as they can, but then Furio and the Stingwingers appear in front of them. Isn't that rock stuff like still spreading? Furio creates a giant crack in the ground, and Mike pushes people out of the way, falling into the crevice. Leo runs over, telling Mike to just give him his hand, but Mike keeps saying that he can't hold on, and he gives Leo his saber. Mike then says it's okay, because Leo can carry on for him, and he's always been proud of Leo, so he just hops off, falling into the ground as it closes on him. Bye, girl. Homeboy definitely could have just climbed back up, but just like me, as soon as a minor inconvenience shows up, Mike just wanted to die. Everyone screams for Mike, including Damon, who again has zero idea who any of these people are. Furio asks who's next, and Leo stands up, pissed off. Furio taunts him, and the 5 are regrouped together. They hold their sabers, which charge up with 5 colors. Furio is surprised to see how powerful the Quasar Sabers are. They then hold up their sabers, and dun dun dun, they morph. Damon's the Green Ranger, Maya's the Yellow Ranger, Kendrix is the Pink Ranger, Kai's the Blue Ranger, and lastly, Leo is the Red Ranger. They pose immediately afterward, talking about how incredible this feels. Leo seems pretty okay for someone who just watched their older brother die. The Stingwingers are sent forward, and now it's time for the Rangers to show off their new, cool, animalistic fighting styles against the villains. Leo takes on Fury, and he gets hit around a bit, but then he's doing a bit better than before, at least. Kai is also a bruiser now out of nowhere, while Damon flies around and then he starts dancing, which actually is pretty funny. Maya's tackling Stingwingers and she's doing pretty good. Also, Furio finally introduces himself to Leo, and Leo totally ignores him, energizing his Quasar Saber, which leads to a lot of fire around him. He slashes and everything around Furio blows up, knocking him down. Then that stone wave has returned somehow. I mean, how far did they freaking run? Maya makes Leo run away, and Leo has a personal rivalry with Furio now. Leo tries to sacrifice himself for a second, but now they're all running. Stingwingers are flying behind them in high pursuit. They get to the megaship and Leo says that they can't leave Mike. Bitch, he dead. They run into the ship, closing the door, which the Stingwingers hit. On the bridge of the megaship, Alpha is shocked to see new Power Rangers and everyone's walking around helmetless already. Damon says to hold on and the megaship starts to take off. Furio sends the Stingwingers to get to the Scorpion Stinger, and Maya and Leo watch Marinoid turn completely into stone. The Rangers are rushing toward a closing portal, and they barely make it through back to their own part of the universe. Maya takes this time to tell everyone that the Quasar Sabers were put in the rock 3,000 years ago, and how every warrior has tried to release them, but this is actually the first time that they've actually come out. They've been given an opportunity and responsibility, and now they have to defend the universe. They've been chosen to be the Power Rangers. Everyone's kind of reflecting on this, and Leo just looks really sad, staring at his Quasar Saber. He says that this was actually meant for his brother, Mike. Back on Terra Venture, the megaship lands in the bay. Is no one going to notice that? Kai and Kendricks walk into Central Command where Stanton says to fire the thrusters for them to go find the new world. They start to drift away from Earth. On the Scorpion Stinger, we meet our big bad Scorpius, and he's disgusting. He asks Furio what the status is, and he says that the Rangers left via the portal. Scorpius wants the Quasar Sabers and for the Power Rangers to be dead. Furio promises to do it. The end. This premiere overall is a bit clunky and ambitious, but I actually really enjoyed it. I mean, Damon's probably the most random addition to this team, and I really wish that we'd actually met him in the first episode with everyone else, because he really feels like he was just plopped into the middle of everything without a real horse in the race here. Mike's death is kind of funny, because seriously, he could have just climbed up pretty easily. I feel like if they had just shot it a little bit differently, it wouldn't look, I don't know, as bad. But from my perspective, Leo definitely could have just saved Mike. It kind of feels like Mike realized how much responsibility he just accidentally got, and he was like, nope. The return of the megaship is cool, and luckily I don't think it's a mainstay at this season. I mean, it's cool like a function that ties from this season to the previous continuity pretty well, and I can appreciate that. But it just makes me sad knowing that Alpha really isn't that common this season. Also, the idea of it being a museum after Countdown to Destruction is like way too realistic, because of course they would try to profit off of this huge tragedy. Next time the season gets its legs underneath it a little bit more. But until then, may the power protect you.